Hey you guys, it's me and this is 5 and 5 and our blog for today is 5 tips for why you shouldn't spend money on fashion shows. I've done a lot of fashion shows in my day and I have to say I absolutely love them. I think the experience was great, but there are lots of things that lots of designers or creatives don't know. And before you jump the gun and trying to spend all this money, I'm going to give you these tips why you shouldn't do it, or at least wait unless you have all these to unpack. So let's get to the first one. Fashion shows are for buyers. They're not really for the audience. And if you know about major fashion shows like Milan or Fashion Week, the majority of people at those fashion shows are publications or buyers. So they're the ones with the money in their pocket, and they're the ones who usually make orders. So if the fashion show is open to the public, I'm not saying that you can't get orders from there, but your goal is to go to a fashion show or participate in a fashion show where you can possibly get some wholesale orders. So it's the number one thing. Number 2, local press versus national press. Well, okay, so all press is good, right? Even if they talk crap about you. It's all good press because guess what? Somebody's talking. However, you have to think about the ability of who's going to be seeing this. So sometimes in fashion shows, depending on what it is, you might be involved in a press, maybe a publication of something, and they're really not talking about the garment. They're just giving their opinion about like the models or the music. So, I mean, you gotta weigh out the things. I mean, yeah, all press is good, but are they really talking about your craft? Are they talking about your designs? Are publications there really about fashion? Or is it just something that, if it's charity, no problem, you can do that because you always want to do some fashion shows of that sense, or brand awareness, or being involved in the community for that sense. But if you're paying lots of money to be in part of a fashion show and they don't really have the right press, think about it. Ask those questions. Number 3, focus on marketing. So lots of people say, well, I want to do a fashion show, but I mean, I don't really know who to invite. I mean, if you don't have a list of buyers or potential retail stores that you can invite, then you need to focus on your marketing and not all that money on that fashion show. Remember, fashion shows are for buyers. So if you have to, do a local fashion show that you want to do, which is totally fine, but think about, who can you invite? And if you don't really have a list of people that you know that can really go and be there, possibly buy or support or whatever the case is, or bring people, then no. You got to focus on your marketing. The next one, number 4, and I have my little notes here so I won't forget. All right, so necessarily growing your list, you won't really do it at a fashion show. And let me just tell you, unless you're actually selling your product and maybe having a booth, then you're not really going to grow your list because no one's going to be at the end of the runway giving you their email. I mean, it's very rare. And usually the person who gets in charge of the event is not going to give you all those emails unless you negotiate. And if that's something you want to negotiate, hey, negotiate it. I want all the lists. But then again, you have to make sure that people opt into that list and they know that they are going to be solicited by you. So if you're really thinking about growing your list, it might not work. And the last one, the ROI, return on investment. Lots of designers spend thousands of dollars, up to $5,000 or even more, depending if they have to travel, if they have to get makeup artists, they have to get hair. Is it really worth it? What's the return on investment? If you have to pay for a fashion show that's like $5,000, within 6 weeks, you should be making double of that. Are you really? What's the return on investment? Unless there's buyers at the event, I don't really know. It's really, really hard to say the return on investment on a fashion show unless there's buyers in the audience. And I mean wholesalers. Money in the pocket. And that's the 5 on 5 before 5.